and listeners. It is your favorite podcaster, Melody Almay Bird, and welcome to a new episode of Melody Almay TV, the podcast. As you guys can read by the title description of this episode is going to be relationships from hell, okay? I know the title seems kind of weird and off-putting, but in this episode, I'm gonna share with you guys relationships from hell with my own personal relationships and others. And we're just gonna talk about relationships. So this is the relationship episode, but we're gonna go right into it. So if you guys like this episode, if you guys are listening, make sure you guys rate this 5 stars. And if you guys are watching on any type of platforms on YouTube, Patreon, if y'all are part of my Patreon, thank you guys so much for joining. I'm gonna have exclusive content only for Patreon coming up. So make sure you guys join my Patreon by using the link in the description box below, and go subscribe to this channel, this podcast, and just join this conversation with me because it's lit over here, okay? If y'all don't know, it is lit. If you guys are watching, I'm like currently looking at my hair because I like it, y'all. I tried this little half braid up, half down, and I tried to like make a little design right here. Y'all see me. If y'all don't, y'all hear me, okay? But your girl is cute. I'm feeling good, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into this episode. Relationships from hell. Let's get into it. My first relationship was when I was 15 years old. And if you guys watched the first episode, you guys would know that he was 4 years older than me. So it was a very big age gap. And my first relationship, I feel, taught me the most out of all my relationships because it was my first actual heartbreak, my first love, my first everything I've endured with my first relationship. And honestly, we were together like 3 years, I would say. We started dating my freshman year of high school. And in that relationship, if you guys watch the first episode, you know I got cheated on. I got lied to. Y'all, I was in high school, mind you. So I was a freshman and he was a freshman in college. He went off to community college somewhere and I was in high school, and all my friends was just like, girl, you are dumb. You know he cheated on you, right? And I was just like, no, he loves me. Y'all, he was cheating on me and I stayed. And you know, that relationship really taught me that once somebody cheats on you, leave the first time. I never stayed with somebody after they cheated on me after that relationship. So that was one of the many things that I learned in that relationship, is leave after somebody cheats on you the first time. Even though you really love somebody, that doesn't mean that you should be with them. I really love this guy, y'all. Like, this is my first love, my first everything, and I was just thought we was gonna be together forever, y'all. I was so dumb. Like, I wanted to run away with this man. If you guys are high schoolers listening to this podcast, listening to my YouTube channel, do not make lifelong decisions in high school because 10 times out of 10 they're gonna change and you're not gonna feel the same way you feel about somebody you did in high school. My boyfriend that I'm with now, he was with his girlfriend for 9 years, y'all. Almost a decade. 9 years. He was with his girlfriend for 9 years. I've never heard of that ever in my life, especially being in high school all the way to like college, staying together. Yeah, he was with her for 9 years, and he told me that they really try to make it work out just because of the time and the history and all that stuff. But if you are out of love with somebody, even if you are still in love with somebody, but you're not happy and they're not serving you and you just want better for yourself, better for your life, just leave. Time doesn't put any restraints on anything. So yeah, I learned in my first relationship that once he cheats on you or once the love ain't hitting right, go ahead and leave because you got time, sis. You got time to date and just experience relationships. So that's exactly what I did. So after my first relationship, after being together for 3 years, I finally moved on. And honestly, I moved on pretty quick, to be honest. It was my junior year of high school. I met my next boyfriend, my second boyfriend ever. We were together from my junior year to my senior year. I tried to take him to prom, but I couldn't take him to prom because he was the weed man, okay? And he was very known. Like, literally his house was open to literally everybody. And I feel like we were really in love. We were together for 2 years, actually almost 3 years. 2 years officially. It's hard to say it without actually explaining it, so I'm just gonna explain the whole thing. So we were together for 2 years and we went through our ups and downs. Like I said, he had a pretty much open house, so it really was a really big trust thing that we went through a lot of trust issues with females coming up and through the house. I remember I got into my first fight. I got into my first fight because of this through, y'all. And I have this fight story on my YouTube channel. Long story short, this girl, she came to my job. At the time I worked at Cold Stone Creamery and I had these little two braids in, y'all, these two little ponytails in. And at the time, me and my boyfriend, we broke up and he started talking to this girl, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I was running my mouth. I was like, who is this girl? You only wanted him because I had him. Like, basically, that's really what most girls was thinking in high school anyway, because they just wanted you because you had him. And that was my energy, and I was running my mouth telling everybody that, exactly. So I guess word went around and she found out that I was talking stuff. And she came to my job at Cold Stone Creamery and she wanted to come fight me at my job. So I was just like, oh Lord. Like, mind you guys, I've never got into a fight ever in my life. It threw me off guard, but I'm at the same time, I wasn't going to be like backing down for no fight because I really did not like this girl at the same time. So I'm like, you know what? She want to fight me, let's fight. Y'all, long story short, I went to meet this girl at the park with my two friends and she brought her big ass cousin. And she looked like a whole different person from when she saw me at Cold Stone. When she saw me at Cold Stone, she had her weave down, she had her makeup on, she had this little cute outfit, nails on, doing all this with the nails. When I saw her at the park, baby, Debo mode. The nails was flicked off, hair was pulled back. She had a whole sweatsuit on and she was huffing and puffing, going back and forth. I said, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? And she said, swing, bitch. When she said swing, I was like, what? Like, you swing. She swung, y'all. When I say you swing, she swung. And when she swung, her swing was swinging. But I got my licks in, you know. But she was big as hell. If you guys watch my YouTube channel, I literally explained the whole thing. But long story short, we got into a fight over this dude. I remember going home and I'm like, I'm never doing this again, especially over no dude. I don't even know what I was thinking. I woke up the next morning feeling like a train hit me. I was like, from this point forward, I am not a fighter. I am a lover. And if we can't talk it out, then I don't need to be I'm literally too pretty for this. Like, I do not like to fight. It hurts me trying to hurt you. And this girl was trying to, not just trying to fight me, she was like literally trying to kill me. Like, she was trying to bash my head. Saying that to say, I was crazy over this guy and literally would fight anything and everything over this man, and I was around him 24/7. And then I went to college, y'all. So skip the prom, skip high school. I went off to college. I went to Illinois State University. If you guys don't know, that's in Normal, Bloomington, Illinois. I don't know why I chose that college, y'all. Time just went by and I was just like, I gotta pick a college. And I didn't really think too much into it. I was just like, I want to get out of my mom's house. I really just want to move far away, but not too far that I can't, you know, come visit my family and whatever. I don't know, y'all. Like, I don't know what I was thinking by choosing ISU, but I went to Illinois State University my freshman year, and this is my first year that I didn't do dance. I was not a part of any extracurricular activity. I was not a part of a sorority. I didn't talk to anybody, really. I was really like a loner, just trying to figure out myself and what I wanted to do with my life and just get a groove of being an adult and just adjusting into adulthood. I wasn't thinking about relationships. And I say that to say, I came into college being in a relationship that I was in for 2 years with my second boyfriend that I was with. And I wasn't thinking about him. To be honest, I was not thinking about him when I was going to ISU. I was just doing my own thing. It's not like I was a hoe or nothing. I wasn't sleeping around. I wasn't dating. I wasn't saying I was single. None of that. I was just minding my own business. And organically, I made a friend, right? I met my next boyfriend. Just to fast forward, I met my next boyfriend at a college party. It was like a frat party or something. And we were friends. Like, we were literally the best of friends. Like, we would hang out every day, me and this guy. Like, I never had a guy friend until I went to college, until I was a freshman in college. When I say that he never left me alone, like, he never left me alone. I would be in my dorm room chilling. He would just be knocking on the door. He would just come randomly and just pop up. I would be sick or something and he would come bring me a soup or something from the cast, and he would write me a card, a get well card. Like, he did a lot. And I noticed it because my man wasn't doing that. Like, mind you, my dorm room, I had all of my pictures hung up, like literally of everything in my high school. My boyfriend, me and my boyfriend just hung up on the wall. My friend at the time, boy is a friend at the time, saw all these pictures, so he knew I was in a relationship and all that stuff. This is the first time that I've ever done this, but I cheated on my boyfriend at the time with my friend, and I did not feel bad about it at all until I got caught, y'all. So in my dorm room at ISU, it was me, it was my Asian roommate, shout out to Adrienne, and this white girl over here, I forgot her name. I think her name was Vicky or something. Yeah, Vicky. Vicky and Adrienne, they were on each side and I was in the middle, right? So when you come in the room, you see my bed first. You don't see anything but my bed because Adrienne's bed was over here in the corner and Vicky had her own little side over here, but I wanted to be by the window. I was the first person to get in the dorm room so I could get my little side of the room. And I got right here by the window, which is smack dab in the middle of the room. So when you come in, you see me, okay? He spent the night, right? And my boyfriend, I guess he came to surprise me in my dorm room, y'all. I think I was sitting on my desk doing my makeup and my guy friend was sitting on my bed and I think he was like in his pajamas or something. And then Adrienne came and she was like, look who's here. Like giving me the eyes, like look who's here. And then it was my boyfriend who walked in. And y'all, when I tell you he was pissed, I can tell that he wasn't trying to like go to jail because knowing him, whenever he gets mad, his nose starts to sweat and it started having little beads of sweat on his nose. And I saw the beads coming up. I said, oh Lord, I don't even know what I did, but I played it off so good. I knew that he was not supposed to be in my room and I knew that what I was doing was wrong, but I was just playing off. I was like, hey, like, and then immediately the guy friend, he was just like, all right, he left. And like he was just chilling. Like my boyfriend was chilling the whole weekend, but he got the vibes of like something's going on. And what really set it off was when I came back home to visit him. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I had friend boy as my screensaver with his shirt off. I don't know what I was thinking, y'all. And my boyfriend at the time saw the screensaver and he went off and he was just like, you should have just told me. Why don't you just tell me? And I don't know why I didn't just tell him. I just honestly, in that relationship, I just learned just to be honest. That relationship taught me honesty, but I really didn't even get that until now. Like now I know to be honest. Like that was the first time I cheated, okay? Long story short, I ended up breaking up with my second boyfriend and again going back into another relationship with my third boyfriend, which is the ISU guy that I met in college. And I was with him my freshman year to my sophomore year of college. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, this is a really sweet guy. Like he's probably the only boyfriend that I dealt with that we don't have bad blood. We can honestly still be cordial to this day. Like that's the only boyfriend that I can honestly be cordial and still follow on social media, and we have no bad blood because he was just like a really caring person. Even though in relationships it doesn't work out, you have to give gratitude for people who are there for you, especially in dark times in your life. When I first moved to Louisiana after my freshman year, if you guys don't know, I moved to Louisiana. I went to Southern University and A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana after my freshman year. I took that transfer down after I made the Dancing Dolls majorette dance team. And he was there for me throughout that transition from Illinois to Louisiana. He was there. And I remember I was crying on a mattress with no cover, like just trying to figure out life. Everybody hating me, nobody knows me. And that was really my only friend in my corner. He was really there for me in that hard time and I really appreciate that. I can't say good things don't last always. It was honestly me distracted with other men, and it wasn't other men. I was with him for a good year after I moved to Louisiana, and I was very faithful. I haven't cheated on anybody besides the second guy that I was with, and I was with my third boyfriend. And when they say you lose them how you got them, that's exactly how that relationship went. I honestly fell out of love with him. It felt like it was more of a friendship than a relationship after a while, because really that's how it started off. We started off as the best of friends. Like literally I would call him my best friend, and then we became more than that. So after I had moved to Louisiana and we had like that distance, it really like grew us apart in a way. It grew me apart, not so much him. I just wasn't focused on that relationship anymore. I was just focused on myself, and we were together for probably like 2 years, and I freshly just crossed, AKA I just was a dancing doll. So I did everything that I wanted to do at my HBCU that I was going to at the time. I was a hot commodity. So I was just like, I wanted to date. Like I've always been in a relationship. I was always been that relationship girl. I've always been the girl like wife me, but I never had that just dating stage. So I was just like, y'all, this is a really fucked up story, but I'm gonna just tell it anyway. Who I'm talking about, which is my third boyfriend, he had came to visit me in Louisiana, okay, when I was still in the semester. It was his birthday. He brought his dog, y'all, this damn dog. I can't stand this dog to this day, y'all. He brought him and his dog, and I told him not to come because at this point I was kind of over him in the relationship, to be honest. But he's the person who's gonna come anyway. Like, it don't matter. He's the person who's like, it's not over till I say it's over. He that nigga, okay? So he came anyway, and it was just, oh my gosh, y'all. Like, we got into a terrible fight and argument. I ended up breaking up with him on his birthday. I know, that's fucked up, but yeah, that's just what happened. And I remember him crying, me crying. I remember he left all his stuff, like his bag and everything. We just had that deep conversation, just like, you know, it's over, like, we have to break up. And in that time, his dog, y'all, his dog really pissed me off. I keep on saying his dog because his dog was bad as hell. His dog tore my damn apartment up, y'all. Tore up the blinds, shitted and pissed everywhere. Like, my crash sister had this white carpet pissed on it, okay? And I had to clean that up. And what really put the topping on the breakup cake was the dog had scabies. Do y'all know what scabies is? If y'all don't know what scabies is, just know that they're mites. They're like fleas, but kind of worse because they're microscopic and they can bite humans. And the damn dog gave me scabies, okay? It was all on my back. It was itchy. I didn't even know what it was until I went to a skin, like, I had to go to a whole dermatologist to figure it out because I was like, oh hell no, because my face started breaking out. I was like, oh no. And the doctor said I had scabies because of the damn dog. So that just really put the icing on top of the cake. I was like, I don't like it here. And to be honest, I already met the next boyfriend before I broke up with him. It wasn't even my boyfriend yet, but we were like dating. So I couldn't necessarily consider it cheating because we were like on the way out, but it was technically cheating because we didn't officially say, all right, we're done. So I had met my next boyfriend, which is my fourth boyfriend. I've been in 5 serious relationships. So it was the first guy that I've ever been in a relationship with. Then it was the second guy in high school who I dated all the way into my freshman year of college. Then it was the guy that I cheated on my freshman year of college with. Then now we're going into my 4th relationship, which was my last previous relationship, which was before the one that I am in now. So this is my ex-boyfriend, my most current ex-boyfriend relationship. Like I said, to be honest, how we met, I was working at Hooters, at a restaurant in Hooters in Baton Rouge, and I was still dating my boyfriend at the time, but like I said, we were literally on the fence of breaking up. Like I said, if y'all want to break up with somebody, just break up with them because it's rather that than getting caught or looking like a cheater, because ain't nothing worse than a cheater, and karma is real. Long story short, me and my 3rd boyfriend broke up. I wouldn't say we got together immediately. We honestly dated for like 6 months before we made it official. That was the longest relationship that I was in. In that relationship, I've learned so much. Woo! So this relationship taught me so much in aspects of being careful with my heart, because as y'all know, I'm a Cancer, so like I'm a very emotional person, and when I love loud, okay? You're gonna know that I love you no matter what. I'm gonna cry, I'm going to send the long text messages, I'm going to be obsessive. There is really nothing wrong with being obsessive, but only in aspects when somebody's as obsessed with you as you are with them. That's the only time being obsessive is okay. So we were together from my sophomore year of college all the way until after college, okay? So sophomore year, junior year of college, senior year of college. Wait, is it sophomore year of college? I guess sophomore year doesn't really count. I guess we technically got together my junior year of college because, like I said, we were dating 6 months before we made it official. If you guys have been following me on my YouTube channel, you guys know all the stuff that I went through with that relationship. But to quickly give you guys a little insight of what was going on, I feel like I had a closer relationship to his family than I actually did him, because his family, especially his grandmother, I call her Momo, y'all. This is my first time saying Momo on this podcast, but I love Momo, okay? People down south, y'all don't know about Momos. They the best. They gonna make sure you well fed. They gonna talk you to death. They're gonna ask you all the questions, get in your business, but you're gonna love it because they just care so much about you. And every time I got out of class, I would come over to Momo's house and we would just sit up and watch her shows. And I would cook and just chill with Momo more than I would with my relationships. So I was really close to his grandmother. I was really close to his mom. And I was close to a couple of his friends. But all in all, I realized that I have a closer relationship to his family than I do with him. And then I realized the way he treats his family, the way he talks to his family, the way he talks to his mother, the way he talks to his grandmother who's 70 something years old, I should have took that as a sign. Half the stuff that he would say to his mom, I would be scared to say to my mom. But they just had that type of relationship, and I felt that his mother and his family members enabled him to become the man that he was. And what made me realize this was I was venting to his mother about all the stuff that he was telling me, the way he talks to me, the way he treats me, the way he's not giving me attention. And what she said, her response to that was, oh, that's just the way he is. That's the way he always been. That's the way he always gonna be. And it's rather you accept it or you go. And that's what made me realize it could be his parents. it could be his upbringing, because ain't no way you can just accept that and go. Even as adults, we're constantly evolving and constantly growing. It's not no way of just, oh, that's who I am, so you're just gonna have to accept it or just go. That's just ignorance, you know? That's just people just being stuck in their own ways. And dating somebody who's from like the South, from down South, they are very stuck in their own ways. The men really do expect their woman to be catered to. That's how I am automatically in relationships. I like to cater to my man. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be doing everything and you doing nothing. Like, give some type of effort sometimes. Like, and I felt like I was giving 110% and he was giving me not even 50, baby. Like, he was giving me a good 25. And I felt that all the way. Like, I felt that in my spirit. I felt that in my soul. And looking back, I really thought that I was happy. Looking back, it's crazy how I really thought I was so happy. And now that I'm actually in a happy, healthy relationship, I realized how unhappy I really was. I realized, damn, I cried a lot in that relationship. It's just crazy how much I put up with in that relationship and how I was just taking it because I loved him. I really loved him, and I really thought that we was gonna be together forever. I was just trying to make it work out. And honestly, what really pushed our relationship overboard was when I moved to California. I moved to Los Angeles, and I told him I was moving to Los Angeles. Like, this has been my #1 dream since I moved to Louisiana. Well, not really since I moved to Louisiana. Honestly, it was kind of like my last year of college. That's when I was just like, all right. I always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to go to California, but I didn't really have it set in stone until my last semester of college. I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of working this 9 to 5. I'm gonna just go. And that's exactly what the plan was, just go. And literally I had 3 months to plan, and when the time came, I went. And I did not know that as soon as I left that state, that was the end of our relationship. I never thought that he would leave me alone in the time that I needed him the most. I was so depressed because I wanted to tell him everything that I was going through emotionally and, you know, spiritually and physically, but he was never there for me. Like, when I would call, he wouldn't answer, and then when he does answer, he would have an attitude, be like, why the hell would you call me so many times back to back? I felt like I was irritating the fuck out of him, and I'm like, never in a relationship should I feel like this, that I'm irritating you by calling you and we're in a long distance relationship. I was just over. I was just like, all right, let's just break up then. And I did not mean it. I was just like, let's break up so you can miss me, because clearly something's wrong here. You don't know what you have. But when we broke up, that was it. We never got back together. That's when I was really alone, and I was like really depressed. That was the time that I was single for the longest ever, and I was just trying to heal myself. Oh my gosh, y'all, I have to tell this story. Before I left, I made the huge mistake of going through this man's phone. I would never say never. I never go through the phone again, because I trust my man. Like, I go through this phone all the time. It's not like I'm looking for anything. I just, you know, there's nothing for him to hide. There's nothing for my man to hide, okay? But at this time, this nigga was trying to hide stuff, okay? Every time he was on his phone, he would turn it this way, turn it that way. He never shared his passcodes. I will always have to guess it, baby. But baby, I guessed it every time though, and I got in. And this time, y'all, I guessed it, got in. And what I saw broke my fucking heart. I thought this man loved me. I thought he wanted to be with me. That phone said otherwise. What I found in that phone was just so many DMs of him like going back and forth with girls on Instagram. Mind you, at the time, yeah, we were technically broken up because I did break up with him, but we were still talking, right? Trying to make things work out. Baby, he was working out them DMs with them other girls, and what really sent it overboard was, I'm gonna say it now since it's a podcast. It's been a while. He was talking to one of my sorority sisters, okay? Not only a sorority sisters in the whole entire world. Y'all know there's a lot of AKs in this world, but this was somebody who was my Neo, okay? I'm not gonna say the girl name, but it was my Neo. And I was so fucking hurt when I saw her in his messages, because not only were they talking, but they mentioned me. They mentioned me. And he was like, I'm sure you know, but my ex is Melody, and I just wanna let you know before things get awkward. And she said, oh yeah, I forgot what she said. I think she was just like, yeah, I figured that you'll bring that up, but it doesn't matter to me. I like hanging out with you or something like that. I said, it don't matter to you. Oh, bet it up. Mind you, I was in the bed next to him. I'm under the covers with his phone, and he's laying right next to me while I'm reading this. I'm literally drenched. Like, I'm shaking, I'm drenched. My heart is going like this. Y'all, I was hurt. Mind you, I screenshotted it and I sent it to myself, and I deleted it out of his messages. But I sent it to my line sisters, the screenshots, and they were flabbergasted. I went to the bathroom and I cried. And I think I called my best friend, I called my line sister, and I told my line sister to come get me because I'm not staying over here one more night. I had already moved to LA at this time, so I was just visiting him at that time. So I'm crying, I'm going through it on the phone with my line sister. She said she on her way, her and her husband. I hear her knock at the door. Bro, what's wrong with you? He done found out, y'all. I think he woke up and saw that I was gone, and then grabbed his phone. He was like, oh shit, this girl done found out what I've been up to. Y'all, I just went off. My dad raised me to never put my hands on a man, but I'm not gonna lie, that night, I was swinging on that man. A whole different part came out of me that I never even know was a part of me. He brought out a whole side that I never knew. A terrible side that I never want to see again. I wanted to kill that nigga. Anyway, so I left out on some mad shit. He came after me, running after me. I remember it was like this field of like long, tall grass. I don't know where the hell I was going, but I started walking through the field, y'all, just to lose him because he just kept on following after me. And I walked through the long grass and I saw my line sister and her husband pull up. I just hopped in the back of the car. I looked through the back window and I saw him walking the other way, and I never saw him again after that. I say all that to say it ended terribly, and that was probably one of my worst breakups ever, emotionally and everything else, because like I said, how you get them is how you lose them, and karma is real. Because I had cheated on my last 2 boyfriends, I feel like I kind of somewhat deserved this, because I really thought that this is gonna be the one, and he just like literally gave up on my ass. And I was just like really hurt. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hurt, and it took me a while to get over that relationship. And honestly, I was over men. I was over everybody. I was trying to look for distractions in my hurt and my heartbreak, and those distractions did not serve me at all. When I say distractions, I mean men. I never slid in the DMs before this. Like, I was going through some shit, but I really need to go through those moments to really get to where I am now, because I remember in my darkest, deepest, loneliest, most sorrowful moments, I was crying. I was praying to God that he would just take this pain away and just show me what real love is. I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel like this no more. I don't ever want a man to make me depressed, because I never ever experienced depression in my whole entire life. Why does a man, a relationship, take me there? Like, I was really having these real conversations with God. I needed that. I needed that to appreciate who I am with now. I needed those moments. I needed that hurt and that pain to appreciate what a true man really is and how you're gonna feel when you're in a real healthy relationship. Because I was in a moment where I was like, fuck all men. I don't want to date. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself at this point. And that's when my current boyfriend came and slid into my DMs. I'll get in more depth about that in the next podcast episode. But when I tell you, our love was so organic, the way we came together, it's literally nothing but God. Like, you cannot say that was not God. Because my current boyfriend now, we went to the same college, we went to the same HBCU. He was on the same campus as me. He crossed the same time I crossed. If you guys don't know, he's a Q dog. I never thought I would be dating Q dog, but yes, he crossed the same semester I did, and we crossed paths one time when I was in college. That was the only time that we ever crossed paths, when I was in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend, and I think he was in a relationship, and I was visiting Whole Foods and he worked at Whole Foods. He was working behind the counter at the hot food plate, and it was just a normal conversation, and that was it. Normal customer to employee interaction, even though he could say otherwise, but that's what it was to me. And I didn't talk to him ever again until he randomly hit me up years later in the DMs. Not even Instagram, y'all. Facebook Messenger. I don't even check my Facebook Messenger. Do y'all check y'all Facebook Messenger? Because I don't, baby. And he DM'd me asking me to go on a date. I didn't want to go on a date. To be honest, I was like over it. I said yes, but I sent him off on the first time that we were supposed to go on a date, because I was just honestly scared, y'all. Like, I don't know what to expect. I didn't want to get another relationship. I didn't want to trust anybody. I didn't want to love. I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. But when I finally said, okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go on this date and just enjoy myself. And instead of doing what I usually do on every single date, which is do the most, like beat my face, do my hair, put on a cute outfit, be nervous, I wasn't doing any of that. I didn't have on any makeup. I think I had my hair half up, half down, like a little 9-year-old girl. I think I had a half shirt and just some like jeans. I was just me. I was just like, I'm just gonna go on this date and just be me. And if you don't like it, then great, because I want to be by myself anyway. But it ended up being the best date ever. The best day ever. And he ended up being the best man that I could ever dream about. Everything. Just so patient. When I say that I'm so glad that God took me out of those relationships and put me into this new relationship, my ex-boyfriends would not be able to deal with the woman that I am today at all. I don't require a lot, but I do require a lot of patience. And I've noticed that. And my boyfriend is the most patient man that I've ever met. Like, I've never met anybody so patient than him. And he's just so loving. He would literally give me the world if I asked. Like, he is just so the most selfless. Like, I can just keep on going on and on. I just really wanted to share my whole relationship evolution, just to share with you guys, not to give up on love. Let's just go back to the Bible. 1 Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Can we get that again? But rejoices with the truth. Okay, like literally everything right there is this man. And I'm so grateful. Like, thank you, God. I just want to say thank you, God, because even though I felt that he wasn't hearing me in those dark, deep, painful moments, he heard me and he brought me exactly what I needed at the perfect time. So I'm so grateful, thankful, and I feel like this is gonna be my husband. I've always dreamt about my dream wedding and walking down the aisle to my husband, but I never really envisioned it as clear as I do in this relationship. I feel that in any other relationships, I would be perfectly fine without them, but in this relationship, I have no idea what I would do without my man, like literally, no idea. And that's just not just saying I need him, but I do need him. Okay, baby, I need my man, okay? I need him. I love him and I appreciate him so much because of all the stuff that I've been through in my past relationships. It took me 4 previous relationships to finally get it right on my 5th relationship, and now, of course, I'm still evolving and growing as a woman, but I feel like now I can be a better woman for him. I can be a better wife for him one day. Thank you, God, for those relationships from hell, because if it wasn't for those relationships and those experiences, I would not be who I am today. And it sometimes takes for you to just be single and be by yourself and just be still. You know, God says be still. That is so true. Like, just be still sometimes. Sometimes we just feel like we're always constantly having to move around, having to date, having to do this, having to do that, be out and about. Just be still, and God will bring you everything that you need, plus more. When you think that your plan with life is more important than God's plan, he will laugh at you every single time. It's always going to be a joke every single time when you think that your plan is better than God's plan. Be patient, because that's what love is patience. And learn how to leave a toxic relationship, even if you are still in love with the person. I had to learn that the hard way every time. It's so hard to leave the person you love. Instead of hurting yourself trying to fix somebody, remove yourself from it and allow them to heal individually. Maybe they can become the person that you need them to be. Maybe not. In the meantime, think about yourself and think about your feelings. And if that person is not willing to change, like I said in my last relationship, his own mama said he's not changing. Baby, take that as a red flag and go. I feel like our generation makes toxic relationships look like it's normal. I have to say it. I have to say it. For example, Chrisean Rock and Blueface. Lord, I'm not gonna lie, they're entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, they are entertaining. And I am definitely team Chrisean because she is way bigger than him. She has so much potential. Like, she is literally a star. She can stick out in any room. She's like has the most confidence, and that's what I can really relate to. But I feel like Blueface definitely dims her light. And as women, we know when a relationship is toxic. We know, but we just don't want to accept it. I feel like that's what it is with Chrisean. Like, she knows that the relationship is toxic. She knows that she shouldn't be getting treated like this, but she stays because it's comfortable. 1, 2, it's making her money and giving her clout. 2, 3, it's because she loves him. We see it, we know it. And Blueface might love her too, but it's not going to end well. Mark my words, it's not going to end well. And I really do want the best for her because I know, Lord, she's pregnant, allegedly. I hate that word allegedly. It's just used so frequently. As much as toxic is used, allegedly and toxic is the most used words in this generation. Whenever you see toxic relationships, don't judge them or glorify them. Just pray for them, because usually when women stay in toxic relationships, they don't see their worth. They don't realize that there's somebody who can treat them way better than they're being treated. They don't realize that they deserve love. And it doesn't even matter what you look like. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter how much money you make. You have to know who you are. And the only way you can know who you are is being by yourself. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Like, I'm not gonna get too much in the Chrisean Rock and Blueface because I can keep on going on with that. And this podcast is not that podcast where we talk about celebrity gossip. We're talking about things that we as normal human beings can relate to, which is toxic relationships. And we see it every day. We just don't speak about it. So I just wanna let you know, from being in toxic relationships, and sometimes you don't even understand that it's a toxic relationship until after. Even when you're in it, you don't even know it's a toxic relationship. If everybody's telling you the same thing, it's you. It's literally you. You have to change something within you. You gotta be with yourself. You have to heal yourself. You have to grow by yourself. You can't just expect somebody to help you heal. You can't expect somebody to fix you. That's the word. You can't expect somebody to fix you. Like, that's why I didn't want to get right into relationships, because I know I was broken as hell. And I didn't want to have somebody try to fix me. But God sent a man just to help me heal and to get me to this point where I'm like, I learned so much through this process and learned that my previous relationships was toxic as hell. Like, for instance, let me tell you how I feel that God blessed me with an angel man. So I'll never forget this. So I remember me and my boyfriend was laying down, and I think that we were talking about being in a relationship, because when I first started dating the boyfriend that I am with now, it took me a whole 6 months or 7 months to, I think it was like almost damn near a whole year to be his girlfriend, because I felt like I wasn't ready. Like, I felt like I was broken. I think that was the conversation we were having. Like, I was saying, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm broken. And I was at the point where I think I was crying. I don't know. I was just very emotional. I was like crying. I said, I'm broken. And I'll never forget this. He literally looked me in my eyes and wiped my tears away. And he said, stop saying you're broken. You're not broken. You're healed. Just say you're healed. When you say it, you believe it. And when you keep on saying you're broken, that's what you're gonna believe. But if you say you're healed, you're healed. And I really felt that, y'all. I kind of get emotional even thinking about it now. I really was healed. By me just saying that I'm healed really made me believe that I was healed. And it was really healing. I just wanted to put that in there because this man is literally worked with me through this heartbreak and made me have a whole new heart. Like, made me love again. I never thought that I would love again after my last breakup. Like, I thought that I could never trust again. I thought I could never put my all into somebody ever again. Like, I always have to have that wall up. I always felt that I had to have that wall up. But when I say this man knocked all of those walls down by just being patient, by just being consistent. Like, when I say consistent, consistency. There was times where I was just so mean. I was just not there mentally, and I was just not there emotionally and spiritually, and he still was there for me, consistent with loving me and telling me I'm worthy of love. And I'm not about to sit here and cry on this podcast, but y'all know what I mean. So all in all, I know you guys are probably asking, how do you get over a bad breakup? And honestly, it's really just time. When they say time heals, it really does. It really does heal. It depends, of course, on what you're going through. When it comes to relationships, time does heal. When it comes to death and grief, time necessarily doesn't heal. But when it comes to relationships, time definitely does heal. And when I say that, I mean that shit, because there was a time when we just freshly broke up where every time I would think about the situation, I would just cry. Every little thing was just a trigger for me. And that stuff does not bother me anymore. Thinking back, I'm like, if I saw him on the street, I would not have probably even noticed him. Ask me this time in 2020, baby, I would have started bawling on this podcast. Time really does heal all wounds. Just give it time. Pray, be still, be by yourself. A lot of people say be who you want to attract. Don't be wanting to find some rich nigga and you don't even got an apartment. He's still living with your mama, you know? Just be patient and understand that time is the healer of all wounds. It's not a time limit on healing either. You really just have to make a conscious effort of just, I'm not gonna feel like this anymore. Deleting the pictures is it's like literally a huge step. It took me forever to delete pictures because if y'all know, I take all the pictures, but I had so many pictures of every single relationship that I was in. And it took me forever to delete the pictures and delete the threads and everything. But once you delete those pictures and delete the thread, I'm telling you, it's like a weight lifted off. It's like a weight lifted off. It's like you don't have to look at this person anymore. It kind of helps catapult you in your healing process if you just delete those pictures and those memories. I know it's hard, but if you really want to truly move on and get over that person, that's a huge step in moving on, is deleting memories. Oh, and unfollowing their friends. That's a huge one too. You know, if you see your ex hop up on your timeline, it's going to trigger you. So don't do it to yourself. You don't want to see them. You don't want to step back into them emotions. So just cut off all ties with the friends. The friends, they're not really your friend. They're their friend. Remember that. Now, when it comes to family members, it took me a long time for this. Family members are so hard to get rid of when it comes to ex-relationships. As y'all know, my ex-boyfriend's grandmother, I have such a good relationship with her. Even though we don't talk like we used to, but to be honest and transparent with you guys, for those who are tuning in and listening in, it's so hard to get rid of family members, but you have to. Because at the end of the day, those are not your family members. Those are your ex's family members. And they're always gonna have your ex's side. They're always going to be connected to your ex. So you have to cut off all connections to that ex in order to move on, in order to heal, in order to grow. You gotta cut off everything, no matter how hard it is. When I tell you, it helps so much. You'll feel like a whole weight is lifted off if you do that. Cut off ties with any type of connections you have with your ex. The next topic I have is, should you keep your relationships private in today's generation? Y'all already know my answer to that. Yes, 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 yes. I kind of touched on it earlier in this episode, but I feel like when it comes to women in our generation, they don't want it unless they see it, you know? It's like monkey see, monkey do. It's like you having a piece of gum. Nobody even wanted a piece of gum or a chip, and you in a class full of students, and everybody asked for your Cheetos now that they see it. They didn't even think about your Cheetos until you pulled it out. That's how I feel about relationships. You didn't even want him. You didn't even think he was cute until I done posted him on my page. And from my trauma and PTSD of going through phones, I've learned to keep my relationship private, because the same girls who be commenting on your pictures talking about, oh, you're so pretty, oh my gosh, I love you. Girl, they be in your man DMs. They be in your man's DMs, girl. Keep that relationship private and close to you, because to be honest, it's not anybody's business what your relationship is. I feel like relationships last longer. I know for a fact relationships last longer when it's not out there and put in the spotlight, because a lot of people don't want to see you happy. Even though you think that people do, they really don't. They really want that from themselves, and they will do anything to mess it up. So keeping relationships private in 2023 is a must. If y'all know my relationship, y'all know Mystery Bae is staying Mystery Bae until a ring comes on this finger. And y'all probably would see his face when the wedding pictures drop, to be honest. Okay, you guys, so I feel like I've been talking pretty long. I feel like this is gonna be a pretty good episode though. I know y'all haven't really saw me just talking here by myself, but it feels good to be back here on this podcast and just having a conversation with y'all. A lot of my episodes are mostly interview episodes, probably like a majority of them up to this episode, but I'm just so glad to just talk to you guys one-on-one. It's kind of hard being Oprah Winfrey and as much as I talk, because I've noticed in my other episodes that I just don't let people talk. Like, I don't even let people talk. I talk too damn much. Now that we're gearing towards the end of this episode, I'm just gonna say it. The next episode you're gonna see, episode 10, is going to be with my man. Okay, and it's gonna be different than my other podcasts because, as you guys know, my man is Mystery Bae for now until I decide to introduce him to the world. We wanted to do a different little route rather than you just hearing his voice or just seeing half his face. So I was just like, fuck it, just let's go to one of these sports stores and buy you a ski mask and put on some glasses. And he was totally down for it. So make sure you guys tune into the next episode of Melody Almay TV, the podcast, episode 10. You do not want to miss it. It's gonna be the 10th episode of this podcast. That's crazy. But we're gonna get into everything with my relationship. I know you guys have a ton of questions to ask, so we're gonna touch everything in next week's episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up now. My camera's about to die. So thank you guys so much for tuning in a new episode of Melody Almay TV, the podcast. It's your girl Melody Almay. If you guys are listening on any type of audio platforms, 5 stars. Go smash that subscribe button and join the May Baby family, and smash the notification bell so you know whenever I'm making new posts. And thumbs up this video. Until next time, I will see you on the next episode of Melody Almay TV, the podcast.